Imagine you wake up. You sit up in bed. The world around you looks perfectly real. The morning sun casts a warm, familiar glow across the floor. Outside, birds are singing their complex songs, and in the distance, you hear the faint sound of people laughing. You lift your hand and study the lines on your palm. It feels solid, it feels warm, it feels like you. Now, hold that thought for a moment. What if all of it, every single detail, is simply the product of code? What if your entire world, your memories, your feelings are all running on a vast, unknowable computer? This idea sounds like it was born from science fiction. It feels like the plot of a blockbuster movie designed to thrill and confuse. But this question is not new. In fact, it is a very old one, revisited and rephrased for our technological age. It probes the very nature of what we call reality. The question forces us to be humble about what we think we know. It is a thought experiment that has captivated thinkers for centuries. Today it has found new life in the language of computers, data, virtual worlds. This concept is now known as the simulation hypothesis. In simple terms, it is the proposal that our reality is not a base reality. Instead, it is an artificial one, a simulation created by a more advanced intelligence. This simulation would be so perfect, so complete, that we, its inhabitants, would have no obvious way of knowing we are inside it. Every law of physics, every chemical reaction, every thought that flickers through your mind would simply be a part of the program. It is a staggering idea to contemplate. It challenges our most basic assumptions about life, the universe, our place within it all, pushing the boundaries of science, philosophy, even spirituality. Why would anyone take such a wild idea seriously? The reasons are more compelling than you might think. They come not just from philosophical speculation, but from the strange discoveries of modern science. His name was Plato. He lived more than 2,000 years ago in ancient Athens. To help people understand his ideas about reality, he told a story, an allegory. He asked us to imagine a group of people who have lived their entire lives chained inside a dark cave. They are forced to face a blank wall. Behind them, a fire burns. Other people walk between the fire and the prisoners, carrying statues, carrying various objects. The fire casts shadows of these objects onto the wall that the prisoners are watching. For the prisoners, these flickering shadows are the only reality they have ever known. They give the shadows names. They study their movements. They believe the shadows are the true and real things. They have no concept of the fire behind them, or the people, or the actual objects casting the shadows. Their entire world is a flat, two-dimensional play of light and dark. Plato then asks, what would happen if one of the prisoners was freed? What if they were turned around to see the fire and the real objects? The light would hurt their eyes. The truth would be confusing and painful. It would contradict everything they thought they knew. This story, known as Plato's allegory of the cave, was not about a computer simulation. It was a powerful metaphor for the limitations of human perception. Plato wanted to suggest that what we perceive with our senses might only be a pale imitation of a higher, more perfect reality. He believed that the world we see, the world we touch, and the world we hear is like the shadows on the wall. The real world, the world of forms, could only be accessed through reason and intellectual thought. He was encouraging us to question our assumptions, to look beyond the surface of things, and to seek a deeper, more fundamental truth that our senses alone could not provide. Plato's ancient allegory echoes with startling clarity in our modern discussion about a simulated universe. The prisoners in the cave are us. The shadows on the wall are the physical world we perceive. And the world outside the cave represents a potential base reality, the one running the simulation. Plato's story serves as a timeless reminder that our confidence in our own perception of reality can be misplaced. For centuries, the idea of a false reality remained mostly in the realm of philosophy and fiction. But in 2003, at Oxford University, philosopher Nick Bostrom wrote a paper titled, "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?" He presented a clear, logical argument that pushed scientists and thinkers to take the idea seriously. He did not claim we definitely are in a simulation. Instead, he proposed a wager, a trilemma. One of three possibilities is almost certainly true. Show trilemma diagram. Proposition 1. Civilizations like ours almost always go extinct before developing the tech to run ultra-realistic simulations. It is a sobering thought. Maybe there is a great filter: nuclear war, an uncontrollable pandemic, climate catastrophe, or some unknown threat. If true, no one reached the stage to simulate a universe like ours. They destroyed themselves first. It is a dark, plausible reason for cosmic silence. Proposition 2. Civilizations reach maturity but lose interest in creating simulations. They might develop ethical prohibitions, find it boring, or have more pressing priorities. Then simulated universes would be very few. Odds are low. It is a hopeful option: wisdom with power. Proposition 3. The most mind-bending. We are almost certainly inside a computer simulation. Rule out extinction and rule out disinterest, and advanced civilizations would run massive numbers of simulations, billions upon billions of worlds. Simulated realities would vastly outnumber base reality. So statistically, any random conscious being, like you, is far more likely to be simulated than real. It is a dizzying conclusion. If our universe is a simulation, we might expect to find clues in its fundamental operating system, the laws of physics. At the smallest level, things get profoundly strange. Quantum mechanics governs particles, electrons, photons. It is notoriously counterintuitive. These building blocks do not behave like billiard balls. They exist in a fuzzy, probabilistic state, a wave of possibilities. An electron is not in one place until measured. It sits in superposition, many possible places at once. Some draw a parallel with how video games and simulations save power. They do not render every detail all the time. A distant room may be simplified until you look. Only when the player turns does the computer render lighting, textures, positions. Think back to the quantum world. A particle is a wave until observed. Measurement forces a definite state. This is the observer effect. To some, that is a processing shortcut. Compute only what needs observing. Reality could be rendered on demand just like a virtual world. This does not prove a simulation. Mainstream physics offers Copenhagen, many worlds, and more. Still, the analogy is compelling. Maybe the weirdness at matter's core is a characteristic of a computed reality, the ghost in the machine of quantum physics. It might be information processed only when needed. Yeah. Section 5. The universe on a grid, searching for pixels. Every digital image you have ever seen, from a photo on your phone to a high-definition movie, has a finite resolution. If you zoom in far enough, you see the pixels. A digital image is not infinitely smooth. It is made of a grid of discrete units. Is the universe like a digital image? Is space-time smooth and continuous, or is it made of tiny, indivisible pixels? If we could zoom in far enough, would we find a cosmic resolution? Quantized space-time suggests a smallest unit of length, the Planck length, and a smallest unit of time. If true, our universe is fundamentally digital at its core. A universe built on a discrete grid is exactly what you would expect if it ran on a computer. A computer cannot handle infinite complexity. It stores and processes finite bits. Physicists have proposed experiments. Observe very high-energy particles from distant events like gamma-ray bursts to see if a grid affects travel, tiny discrepancies accumulating, or energy-dependent speeds forbidden in smooth space-time. So far, no definitive proof. The universe appears remarkably smooth. But the search continues, a tangible way to test an extraordinary hypothesis. They are, actively looking. Section 6, the language of reality, mathematics as code. One profound mystery, how well the universe can be described by mathematics. The orbits of planets, the behavior of light, the expansion of the cosmos, all captured with stunning precision by elegant equations. The universe is written in the language of mathematics. Galileo. If the universe is a program, it would be mathematical. Laws of physics, or algorithms, fundamental constants, your input parameters, unfolding of the cosmos, your execution of code. Physicist Max Tegmark argues our physical reality is a mathematical structure. That view erases the line between abstract math and physical reality. A sufficiently complex, self-aware mathematical object could perceive itself as real, making the simulation idea a fundamental statement about existence. Seashell spirals, branching trees and rivers, hexagonal honeycombs. Two interpretations. We discover pre-existing physical logic, or we are deciphering the source code of reality. The elegance might be the clearest sign of design. Well, it is striking. Beyond physics and mathematics, hints arise from subjective experience. Small hiccups in the world's smooth running, personal glitches in the matrix. The simulation hypothesis has seeped into the mainstream, fueled by popular culture and the tech industry's ambitions. Some of the wealthiest people publicly entertain it. Figures like Elon Musk claim the odds we are in base reality are 1 in billions, echoing Bostrom. 40 years ago, we had Pong, 2 rectangles and a dot. Now, photoreal visuals, massive online worlds, VR that can trick the brain. Assuming continued improvement, indistinguishable simulations look inevitable. Vast resources push computing, AI, and immersion, the very tools to build universes. Science fiction popularized it. Now real builders cite those fictions. The line between fiction and possibility blurs. A modern myth is born. For the hypothesis to be more than philosophy, it must be testable, make predictions we can verify or falsify. Proposals include searching for pixelated spacetime via high-energy photon delays and looking for preferred directions in the cosmic microwave background. Push physics to extremes. If reality is computed, perhaps we find limits. Energy cutoffs that look like a lattice boundary. So far, no smoking gun. Cosmic rays and extreme tests uphold known laws. Perhaps fidelity is simply beyond our detection, for now. What matters is the search. Science engaging extraordinary ideas as long as they leave even a narrow empirical path. We stand at a crossroads. Ancient philosophy, modern physics, and future technology. We have tantalizing hints from the quantum world, the mathematical nature of the cosmos, and the oddities of our minds. A logical framework suggests a simulated reality could be statistically likely, but there is no definitive proof. If undeniable proof arrives, some might face an existential crisis. Others would change little in daily life. Your pain is still your pain, your joy, still your joy. The deeper shift would be in meaning and our place in the cosmos. Ultimately, whether our world is made of atoms or bits, the quest remains our own. So, do you think we are simulated? Tell us in the comments and subscribe for more.